Welcome back to This Explainer. We're diving right back into the fascinating blueprint of what makes an exceptional educator. Today, we're exploring that incredible balancing act between strict institutional duty and deep personal empathy. It's basically a delicate tightrope walk between being a steadfast authority figure and a compassionate mentor, all at the same time.
Now, if you haven't seen part 1 yet, you'll want to stay focused and check that out first. You can find it right at https://youtube.b/KD M9ZAMJ/Y-Q/Signi OX-WFY20ESV9PEH7. We are seamlessly picking up right where we left off to explain each remaining point, starting at characteristic number 9. Here's our agenda for today. We've got our Part 1 recap and intro, then professionalism and creative individuality, student work and positive attitude, navigating crises and loyalty, cultivating a caring environment, and we'll wrap it up with the 11 keys to teaching success. Let's move to Section 1. Part 1, recap and intro, balancing institutional duty with deep personal empathy. Moving right along to Section 2, professionalism and creative individuality, covering characteristics 9 and 10. So looking at point 9, this really reminds us that teaching, well, it's not just a job, and it's certainly not a hobby. It's a profound profession. There's this unwritten code of conduct at play here. When a teacher dresses the part, acts with distinct purpose, and approaches every single day with seriousness, they literally uplift the entire school community. It's about combining lasting significance with steady productivity. You're building something incredibly meaningful that lasts way after the students leave your room. But hey, professionalism definitely doesn't mean acting like a robot. That brings us to point 10, creativity. Think about the massive difference between a standard, static room and a fully immersive classroom. Exceptional teachers take the curriculum and completely reimagine space, time, and materials. Imagine walking into an elementary school and the teacher has physically transformed their space into a barnyard to bring Charlotte's Web to life, or a high school teacher turning their room into a 1920s courtroom for the Scopes trial. It's all about generating that magical feeling that something truly special is happening. You absolutely have to let your genuine personality shine through. Whether that means getting a little silly, taking your lessons out into the hallways, or just showing unapologetic passion for your subject. When you draw on your own personal interests, students immediately sense that authenticity. They don't just see a figurehead at the front of the room. They see a real person with actual wisdom to share. All right, Section 3, student work and positive attitude, covering characteristics 11 and 12. Point 11 is all about the power of proudly displaying student work. Simply announcing to your class that an assignment is going to be displayed, that creates a massive spike in student motivation. They inherently want to present their absolute best selves. And displaying work at events like Parents' Day communicates success to the broader community, giving younger kids a visual goal and building just immense self-confidence. Now for point 12. Have you ever noticed how students mirror their teacher's mood? Imagine shadowing students for a full day. The source material notes this fascinating observation. If you sit in on every class with a group of kids, you'll instantly see their behavior shift based entirely on the teacher. If the teacher seems defeated, the students become passive or unruly. But when a teacher exudes joy and energy, the students respond in kind. They are literally reading your demeanor the second that bell rings. So the big takeaway here is that a positive attitude is incredibly infectious. It creates an environment that actually prevents discipline problems before they even have a chance to start. Positivity also streamlines your cooperation with other staff. The text is pretty explicit about this. Avoid the lounge lizards. You know, those negative folks in the faculty room who just drag everyone down. Yeah, avoid them. Go eat lunch somewhere else if you have to. But protect your positive outlook at all costs. Section 4. Navigating crises and loyalty, which are characteristics 13 and 14. Shifting to a more serious tone for point 13, demonstrating calm in a crisis. You absolutely must know your school's protocols inside and out. Protective procedures have evolved a lot recently. You need to know the exact difference between initiating a lockdown, where no one goes in or out due to immediate danger, versus a shelter-in-place, where people are kept safely inside, maybe gathered in a common area like a gym. If panic breaks out, just remember these 3 simple steps. First, you are never alone. There's always another teacher or administrator nearby. Second, there's a pre-established school procedure for literally every emergency. Learn them before the year even starts. And third, you have community and student support.
Relying on these facts is exactly what keeps chaos at bay when tensions run high. I think this quote brilliantly captures the weight of this role. A principal actually said this about his teachers after a bomb threat evacuation. He noted that their poise and leadership were the essential elements in getting students out of danger. When an emergency hits, teachers are the absolute front line of safety.
Moving to point 14, let's talk about loyalty. Now, loyalty doesn't mean blind faith, right? But it does mean maintaining a strong personal allegiance to the school community. Sure, debate rules behind closed doors with your administrators. You definitely should if a rule doesn't make sense. But to the parents and students, you are a unified front. You interpret and support the school's decisions instead of complaining in the hallways and splintering the team.
Section 5. Cultivating a caring environment. Characteristics 15 and 16.
Covering point 15. This profound realization from a veteran teacher really hits hard. Problem students are often experiencing massive stress outside of school, and they're simply seeking your compassionate attention. Teaching requires a tremendous emotional investment. If you approach your class with apathy, every single day becomes a grueling grind. But when you genuinely care, you easily forgive shortcomings, you work tirelessly for your students, and as a result, they work hard to please you.
For point 16, creating a welcoming space means actively implementing team-building exercises. No student should ever feel like an isolated island. Start with simple, non-competitive challenges so everyone gets a quick early win. Then you can gradually increase the complexity. Maybe build a schoolyard habitat together. Just make sure you constantly monitor the groups to prevent any exclusion and reorganize them regularly so cliques don't get a chance to form. And finally, Section 6, 11 Keys to Teaching Success, bringing it all together. To wrap up this explainer, let's synthesize these crucial takeaways. Keep these keys in mind as your professional roadmap. Remember to model strict professionalism. Be fully prepared to serve as a calm crisis leader. Leverage your unique creativity to build diverse learning environments. Stay relentlessly current on procedures. And above all else, never forget your lasting significance. You have the profound ability to affect meaningful change that stays with your students for a lifetime. As we wrap up today, I want you to think about your own students and ask yourself one final crucial question. What is one specific trait from this entire list that you can use to transform your teaching tomorrow? Are you going to inject a bit more creativity into a lesson? Or maybe reevaluate your attitude at the door? The choice is entirely yours. Keep learning, keep reflecting, and we'll catch you in the next explainer.